Clean.
Start anew.
Turn over a new leaf.
Yeah, and all them other metaphor things like that. Yeah. But we're sorry.
But the only way we're going to do that is we've got to apologise to a lot of people. Yeah. And personally, I would really like to apologise first up to all the Game Gear and Game Boy owners out there for our lack of coverage on
the consoles. I'm sorry.
We're sorry. We're really sorry.
And we'd like to apologise to all them people who I told the NBA GM number hint line to because it was wrong.
No, that was him. That wasn't me.
Yeah, I know.
You did that on
your own.
Yeah, I
know. All right. I told him. I'm sorry.
All right. I'm sorry.
He's sorry. 0055 26 196. Didn't write it down too bad.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
We're sorry?
Yeah, we're sorry.
And so, yeah, we've really got to apologise
to the game companies
for accidentally misplacing
their games.
All of your games. We're really sorry.
We are really sorry.
I'm sorry.
I mean, we're still really sorry for saying TMZ instead of TZM.
Excessively sorry. We're so sorry about that. Sorry, guys.
Cut and bleeding. We're sorry.
And last but definitely not least,
yeah, we're
so sorry, guys.
Because this week's episode of Ren and Stimpy is just.
We're sorry.
Mate, it's shocking. We're sorry.
Not.
I'm gonna take you to a place you've never been before.
It's a dream.
We're 3 minutes away from...
we're now in the approach phase. Everything looking good.
31 seconds, and we're
still looking very good.
Play it. Play it. Play it. Play it.
Play good. The very latest information on an amazing
Reaching out into other worlds.
You're gonna dig this.
You are now entering.
Cop these for some interesting facts. Since the dawn of time, the Oz gaming industry has sold over 2 million units of gaming hardware, although for some reason getting exact figures is almost impossible. Some behind the scenes, and I might add incredibly dangerous, private dick work by the Zone crew put the individual hardware figures in perspective. Game Gear got 50,000, Game Boy 250,000, Master System 300,000, Nintendo 500,000, Mega Drive 600,000, and the Super Nintendo 300,000. The Mega CD got heaps, which all adds up to a lot of different game heads on a lot of different systems. What's it all mean? Nothing much really, but we thought you'd like to know. Today, however, is not about facts and figures, it's about fighting. To get all the inside info, the Zone asked world-renowned fighting gaming guru, Sweden's Professor Muttledorf.
Snart, SNES ist nicht ja SMA, es ist vielleicht schnell volle Bürste wer nie gebührt. Ne, snilleste var I da hele vorne sine ja, in die car. Nel fa isme ali isme ala ayi ali Stefano Tarago. Still me isme alai.
Well, that was useless.
Well, that sums that up. More from the prof later, but first, let's kick some. Coming at you today on The Zone, it's time to strap on the headgear, stretch the hammies, and wax on, wax off, as we push the special attack button and dive headlong into a fighting frenzy of unparalleled proportions. The bigger, and the biggest beat-em-ups ever to punch, kick, flash, or ride onto a console near you are put under the scope and given the once-over. And if thrashing the living daylights out of unsuspecting animated characters is not your thing, we'll also be reviewing games like R-Type 3, Sub-Terrania, and Hellcat. All that, plus the usual diet of madness and misinformation, soon on.
We've had loss of signal now.
Mechanical type shoot-em-ups are all the rage at the moment. Put them in space and throw in a heap of aliens and, well, they're even ragier. R-Type 3 on the Super Nintendo is no exception to the rule. It's big, it's bad, and it's heavily hyped. But is it any good? In the driver's seat, Rodon Amos.
Space-age shooting games have been around ever since the very first video game console, so any new shooter's going to have to be damn good to make an impression in this genre. Unfortunately, R-Type 3 isn't.
Just like Hollywood, sequel mania is rampant amongst games. R-Type 3 puts you against the Bidos once again, and this time they're nastier and uglier than before.
Both the graphics and the gameplay are bog standard. Sure, it's tough and very demanding in parts, but believe me, you've seen it all before. Stand R-Type 3 up against Starwing or Parodius even, and it looks very ordinary indeed.
As a shooter, this is a solid but not brilliant game. The playability is good, but the sound could be better, and the R-Type look is a bit tired for my tastes. There are some groovy spitting mode 7-bits though. It's still enjoyable. Heaps of power-ups, a choice of 3 forced lasers, and some pretty tough bosses will keep fans happy. There's other stuff around that does the job better though, so I'd give it an 80.
The only people who will like this are fat old nerds who can remember when Pac-Man was new, and fans of the R-Type series. Actually, they're the same people. Boring. Amos is being way too kind. I give it 75%.
How you doing, Gameheads? It's Muttley here with a treat on Streets of Rage 2. When you get to the title screen, press Start on Control Pad 2 to get to the menu. Move the cursor down to the options, and then using Pad 2, hold A, B, and press Start. That'll give you a round select.
I got you, Matt. The last time I played with the sub-like thing was in the bar. At least I thought it was a sub. There's no mistaking what's the sub in Sega's new underground underwater strategy war game called, appropriately, Sub-Terrania. Locked in battle at 40,000 leagues under, Janice and Bev.
Well, what can you say? It's a sub, a maid, a shoot-'em-up, and a strategy game in one. This new game from Sega offers just about everything except the hedgehog. No, seriously, its graphics are superb, and although the sound isn't as good as a ferret in your pants, the gameplay is one of the best around.
Sub-Terrania is a cross between your basic flight sim with gravity and Desert Strike for its rescue element. You maneuver a small spacecraft in 9 different subterranean caverns, rescuing POWs and shooting at big nasties. Check out the head on level 2.
The craft is an experimental all-terrain ship, and guys, it has guns.
Once you have mastered controlling the craft, as it responds to gravity and inertia, which means the more power you give it, the longer it takes for the craft to slow down. This makes collecting fuel, shields, missiles and one-ups difficult within the craggy caverns.
After checking out the maze layout and your mission brief, you fly around collecting POWs and submarine parts, where eventually, well, in Mission 7 anyway, you finally become a sub, and your missions go underwater.
A definite thumbs up for unexpected gameplay as you start a new mission each level. And it's challenging enough to make it an addictive game. It gets 82.
It's the controls that frustrate you the most. Jet propulsion is how you go anywhere, but here's the catch. You must be facing the right direction. There's no steering. Refueling is always a constant problem though. It's hard, but that's what makes it so challenging. So if you want a game that's out of the ordinary, then you're for Sub-Terrania. If not, well, I guess you own ferrets. I give it an 83.
Stand by to hit the overdrive button as we kick into a heavyweight session of non-stop, in-your-face thrashing. You're strapped into the zone.
Mind if I drive? Not if you don't mind me clawing at the dash and shrieking like
Find, he said unto himself, bonus! And so the term bonus level was born.
This is no time for chit-chat.
Let's end the debate right now. The undisputed heavyweight fighting champion of the gaming world is, well, there's 2 actually, Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter II Turbo Edition. Both games have their hardcore followers willing to give any number of reasons why their favour's the best. For example, MK fans will rap about the big beefy sprites, while the Street Connection will carry on about the extra special moves. Both games are addictive as hell, both are intense, both provide heaps of special moves, bizarre characters and wicked bosses. Mortal Kombat with its digitised characters holds the edge on the look front, but Street Fighter Turbo at full speed is a tad quicker. Whichever is your fave, it doesn't really matter. What does is just how far game designers have come in a relatively short space of time. How far? Check this out.
When my Atari 2600 broke down, I thought my life was over. Then came Double Dragon. Double Dragon wasn't the first beat-em-up to hit the arcades, but it was the first to do violence with such style. The graphics were great, there were plenty of moves, plenty of weapons, and the 2-player game was a laugh. Once you got the elbow under control, you could waltz through it, but it was definitely value for money. It was a huge hit on the emerging 8-bit systems too. The Atari 2600 version was a disaster, but on the NES, Double Dragon was about as cool as games got at the time, which wasn't very cool. Every scrolling beat-em-up since has then been modelled on Double Dragon. Games like Final Fight and the Streets of Rage series might have fancier graphics, more characters and a few more moves, but the gameplay follows exactly the same button-bashing pattern. You walk to the right, jump around, and when you've got the energy, you hit people. But is this sort of stuff still exciting? No, which is why Double Dragon 5 will be a 24 meg Street Fighter 2 clone. Can't wait? I can.
One brand spanking new, hot off the run fight sim that's about to make an impact on the game scene is Sega's tough, no-nonsense Streets of Rage 3. In the blue corner, the Mutsto.
I suppose I better start with a confession. I'm an absolute Streets of Rage addict, and I've been waiting for this game with the anticipation of a rabbit on spring holidays. But the boys and girls at Sega Japan have truly outdone themselves with this effort. They've taken the best of Streets of Rage 1 and 2 and thrown them together with a few more new, novel ideas to create a monster beat-em-up. There's the same characters as in 2, Axel, Sammy and Blaze, plus a new and rather strange dude called Zan. All players have new moves, as well as the old ones, plus there's a separate energy bar which allows you to do your special moves without losing energy. Got heaps of challenges, like the bike stages, big, bad and bent bosses, smoothest of scrolling, large detailed sprites, and the weirdest ending that'll leave you guessing. To give it a score, I'd have to say 90, but that's only because the version I've been playing is still unfinished, as you can see. But when it hits the stores, 3 words, man, check it out.
Now, if you're the type of guy that likes to sit down in front of your most violent, beefy and bloody beat-em-up and play the character in the dress and high heels, then most people would suggest you go and get some serious help. I mean, that's what we told Tim, until we realized there was method in his madness. The fact of the matter is, the character you choose largely determines which strategy you should implement to complete the game, and practically all fighting games will contain one of the following standard characters. You've got the big, brainless brawn of a guy who does serious damage to anything that gets in his way, but more often than not has the speed and flexibility of a steel girder. At the other extreme, you've got the wave of a Kate Moss lookalike that might pack a punch of a 2-year-old who's drunk too much red cordial, but on the other hand is quick and agile enough to deliver 10-fold the amount of blows in the same amount of time, bringing the largest of bosses to their knees. Which brings us to the main man, who is generally the best bet in any fighting game. Although he doesn't pack the biggest punch or jump the highest, he has the combined skills of the extreme characters at a modest level, which allows him to make short work of just about anything. And most importantly, he looks the greatest.
For my money, the best bet is the awesome arcade Power Stick Mark II. The stick itself is smooth, but sturdy at the same time, allowing total movement when you're in the thick of it, guys.
My fave joystick for fighting games is the tank. It's big and chunky, and special moves are heaps easier to get out. It's definitely the king of joysticks.
Okay, here comes the top of the range of fighting consoles. There's only one problem: very few of us can afford them. The system is called Neo Geo, and bringing you all the reviews, news and views on this awesome home arcade console, Monster Tim.
Okay, you want to see the hottest fighting arcade games, but you want to see them in your lounge room. Well, here's the ultimate in button-pushing action, graphics, sound, and of course controls. 4 good reasons why the Neo Geo stands alone when it comes to fighting action. And here's what you're in for. Art of Fighting 2 has been released, and it's here on the Neo Geo. With all the special moves and more, this game is big, fast, and clocks in at an amazing 178 megs. Now that's big, seeing that Street Fighter 2 on the Mega Drive is only 24 megs. Anyway, you can play against the computer or your best or worst mate. The graphics are fantastic, and the sounds are crystal clear, leading me to the only downer, the price. It's huge. Retail value for the system is $799 with the extra joystick, and the games are roughly $350 each. So if you like these games, but your bank account is as low as mine, then I suggest you go down to Time Zone and play them. On the other hand, if you've got a spare $1,000 and you love fighting games, it doesn't get any better than this. So if you buy one, buy me over.
We'll tell you as soon as we get our hands on it. Expect to see more games like this in the future, as technology becomes cheaper and more accessible.
How you doing, fellas? It's Mutt here. I've got a fight for DJ from Super Street Fighter 2, if you've got a 6-button control pad, that is. When you get a high score, enter your name as Bert and Ernie, from Sesame Street, Bertnernie. Then go to the options screen, choose the hardest level, and start the game on the hardest speed, well, the fastest speed. When you're fighting Bison, press start, then up, C, mode, and Y together. Then left, A, right, down, Y, B, A, left, and start. Did you get that? I think I did.
I hope there was nobody on that bus. Nobody we know, at least.
So.
Yeah guys, Adam here, and it's exciting prize time. Remember last week we asked you to write in and tell us what Amos's fave game was? Well, the answer was Super Bomberman. Our response was huge, and Matt has just picked out 5 lucky winners to win our mystery game packs, which will involve certain things like this, sent to you guys, okay? Matt, do you want to give us those 5 you picked out, bro? Muttley never could count. Here we go. First of all, wrong answer. Yes. Jason Steele, the answer is Super Bomberman. He owns a Super Nintendo. You're going to get a pack in the mail pretty soon. This person, who is Engelbert Terkiel, and I'm not kidding, that's actually their name, is Super Bomberman Mega Drive. You're going to get one in the mail. Quick, quick, quick. Wrong answer. Jamie Peterson, yes, Sega Mega Drive. You're going to get one. 2 more. Quickly, quickly. Sarah Kelly, yes, you're going to get one. And Helen Joker, yes, you're going to get one too. Sega Mega Drive, Super Bomberman, and that's it, that's 5. Okay, while we're on the subject of Mystery Zone game packs, we've got 5 more to give away next week, and if you want one, you've got to answer this question on the back of an envelope. What is Mutteldorf, that fake phony Swedish guy that was on earlier in the show, what is his real job that we discovered? Okay, you've got to write to Mutteldorf's real job, The Zone, P.O. Box 27 Willoughby, New South Wales 2068. And don't forget to give us your name and address and the system you use so we know what to send you on the back, okay? See ya.
He's not a real guy, Sam. Can I keep his head for a souvenir?
Would you jump into a cab that's been driven by the devil's personal cab driver? I did, and this is my sorry tale. This is another one of those CD-ROM games that promises to be the most amazingly groovy and mind-blowingly huge interactive adventure since, I don't know, Interactivesville. However, like most of these so-called new and improved cinematic gaming experiences, it doesn't take long for you to realize who the star of this C-grade flick is. You, the dork on the other side of the monitor. You play the sucker who went out and shelled big bucks on this tiny, tiny game and lives miserably ever after. And that's about where your involvement ends. All you're left with now is a really bad movie that, with CD access time taken into account, you'll never watch to the end due to the fact that you could grow facial hair in between scenes. With all that spare time to think, pretty soon you come to the realization that for the same amount of money, you could have gone and seen 4 box office smash hits and caught a cab to and fro, which leaves you cursing hell under your breath. So at least it stays true to its name. Ironically, it's got this hip little green fluoro sticker on the front raving on about some groundbreaking new easy installation thing. Needless to say, it took me longer to install than anything else I've got on my computer. Now that may have been mine or my computer's fault, and just like the fact that it takes sometimes up to 2 minutes to get out of a room, that might have been our SX25 processor. So I took it home and whacked it on my DX266 with a triple spin and 8 meg of RAM. No change. I don't know, maybe I did something wrong. Maybe I should have been running it on a Pentium, or better still, our spare silicon graphics machine out the back. Otherwise, if this is the future of interactive gaming, give me a Commodore 64. It gets a 51, just so I don't get hollered at like I did for my Microcosm review. He's been nominated for Current Affairs Awards. He's been offered Nobel Prizes, lecture tours at well-known American universities. It's the buzz, and he's Muttley.
Excuse us. We need some help, and although you seem dangerously unequipped brain-wise, we've come to you for advice.
Right, I know it's a buzz, but that's it. I've had it. I've got the brain cells of a gnat. I got the NBA Jam number wrong again at the start of the program. The number is 0055266169. Get a pen, write it down. 0055266169. And believe me, I'm really sorry. Anyway, back to some sort of news. The home computer show that me and Adam went to down at Darling Harbour was a smashing success. We had a whale of a time. Thanks to all them people who come down and who said hi, well, hi back and all that sort of stuff. And don't forget, next week, we're giving away the home Dell computer package. Last week, we promised pictures of the Hulk, you know, big, green, small like you. Well, here they are. Check this out. Too many veggies, huh? Anyway, Mortal Kombat 2 has arrived, and it's at Sega HQ. But they're keeping it under lock and key. Now, the new Mortal Kombat 2 is rated an M, so you won't be able to see pictures of it here at the Zone, but we're going to do a review on it anyway, just with no pictures, and that's going to be interesting. So hang around, we're going to check that out. And here's some good news for Sydney gamers. Well, remember last week I was telling you about the Blockbuster comp, which is down in Melbourne. Well, they've brought it up to Sydney. Well, Penrith. Well, that's sort of near Sydney anyway. Now, it's looking good for the SNES and the Mega Drive freaks, so practice up. The games you've got to practice on is NBA Jam for the Mega Drive and the SNES, Clay Fighter for the SNES, and Sonic 3 for the Mega Drive. Now, the winners will be flown to Fort Lauderdale in the USA, which is like Babe Kingdom and Mega Swing and all that sort of stuff, and it's going to be a huge competition. Now, the place to go to is Blockbuster Video, 205 High Street, Penrith. Now, you've got to be under 20, and it kicks off on the 15th of June. Well, that's all I got time for this week, but remember, I'm Muttley, and you're Snot. Not.
Well, that was useless.
That's all she wrote for today's show. Hope you dug it. Next week we go sports crazy with all the latest and greatest sports sims from pool to American football. And if sports are not your game, we've got more than 1 and less than 4 PC games, plus all the latest goods for your consoles. Until then, don't forget.